Okay, well, thank you all for coming. I'm with Alacrity. I'm a co-founder of the company, and I want to share some of the learnings that we've had from the last year. We founded our company in 2017, so I'll share some of the things that we've learned working with manufacturing and field service organizations over the past year in putting augmented reality to work. And what we're actually doing is, I think as the upskill presenter said, is assisted reality, and we'll get into some of that, and I'll be happy to answer any questions about that as well. So, first, have any of you heard of Neuralink, Elon Musk's company? So it's a very interesting company. They're using Neuralink technology. And Neuralink technology is about implanting electrodes into the brain to have a high-speed interface between the computer and the human. So I think there's tremendous excitement around this, tremendous potential. If you think about it, you're combining the best of what humans do, human cognition, creativity, intuition with high-speed computing and almost limitless information retrieval. So as I looked at this, we decided to become a fast follower in this market. So what I'm actually interested in is next week we're going to be doing some clinical trials. And I was interested if there's any volunteers in the audience for this. It's just minor surgery, so it won't be that bad, I promise. Somebody know, what's that?
You get good drugs?
We do? Any volunteers, any hands? Oh, we've got one person, okay. We've got two people. I'm surprised, okay. All right, well, see me after this, and we'll put you on the schedule. But all kidding aside, we believe that AR has the same kind of potential without the surgery to deliver this kind of empowerment of having a computer kind of blended with the human. So you've got that same kind of potential as that direct interface. And we see smart glass technology as being a way to provide that interface to the human because you're wearing it and you're able to be hands-free and perform your job. And so we think this is very important in the field service organization because these people are mobile, they're deskless professionals, and they need to be able to do their job while getting the tactical information that they need to perform their job at a higher quality level. And it enables them to perform these complex jobs in less time with less effort and at higher quality levels. And we'll get into some of that in a few minutes. So now you've seen a lot of early trials, and not all of this is us. There's a lot of studies that have been done, and we're seeing somewhere between 30 to 50% improvements. I actually talked to a guy from Boeing, and I said 30 to 50%. He said, listen, we're blowing that away with what we're doing with AR. So there's a lot of data now coming out that is showing that assisted reality and augmented reality in field service and manufacturing is really making a difference. It's moving the needle on key metrics like quality levels, error rates, training, time to training, reducing the time to competency. So some of the challenges that field service and manufacturing organizations are facing. Now, one of the things that is happening is that a lot of the competent people who have a lot of skills, especially in the power business, are retiring. The baby boomers are retiring. And so a lot of the competence that they have in those organizations, a lot of the experience and skill levels, that is evaporating. And they need to get that knowledge back into the organization. And so you're seeing this across multiple industries, not just power generation. And sophistication's increasing. Equipment's becoming more complex. There's a lot more electronics and equipment. So diagnosis are more challenging. Maintenance tasks are more challenging. And there's a need for critical information in the field to help these people. Now, in manufacturing, they still have the same problem with training because they're losing their workforce as well, although maybe not as challenging as in field service. But when I talk about manufacturing, think about custom fabrication. So I think in the manufacturing sector, the real opportunity for AR is where you're not producing the same unit every time, but where you've got a lot of variations on the theme. Now, what's interesting is that heavy equipment, like earth-moving equipment, you would think that they're all the same, but they're not. That's one segment where there's a lot of options. So a harvester, they're like snowflakes. Every one of them is different coming down the line. There's also other examples of this we'll get into, but even I've heard Mercedes-Benz, they're higher-end cars. Their wiring harnesses can be vastly different from one car to the next because there's so many options on a high-end Mercedes that you can order. And they're starting to integrate think of all of the driver assistance packages now. You can buy a car that's almost self-driving, that you can put the lane assist. You can have things like you turn on the driving assistance package, and it's not just the adaptive cruise control, but now the car will actually stop in traffic and go with traffic. When they add all these different options, you've got different wiring harnesses, different electronics. So I even think in that kind of manufacturing, there's actually some applicability. Now in training, which is very interesting, there's been a lot of studies done here. people forget a lot of what they learn after a training event. In fact, one statistic says they forget 70% of it after 24 hours. And so here is where AR can provide continuous on-the-job training. So think about this gap that you are going to lose after training. What you can do here is, with on-the-job training, you're providing the training at the point of application. So while you're doing the job, you're getting the training. And that's going to be retained much better. So at the point of application. So this is where I think there's some real excitement here in terms of what AR can do. So being a scrappy startup, we've only been around less than a year. We actually got a field service organization, a major Caterpillar distributor, to let us go out and job shadow their techs. So I actually put a hard hat on, and I was a service tech for about 3 days. And actually, some members of my team went out and did this. And we actually went out in their trucks and saw what they did. So this, and I'm actually pretty proud of myself, this is a hydraulic compartment with hydraulic pumps for a major piece of earth moving equipment. Don't ask me the model number or what it does. But what you see here is, here's what they're working on. Here's the documentation they have. Each one of these service techs has a computer in their truck, and they're constantly doing this. Go over, work on the piece of equipment. There's a complex wiring diagram. Run back to my truck. Let me look that up. Now let me try and memorize what I just saw and run back to the piece of equipment. And so we saw that a lot going on. And so just taking their existing content and delivering it to them on smart glasses while they're on the job is a win. And I know there's a lot of capability with 3D content, and we see that coming down the pike. But today we think there's a win in just giving this access to this existing content they have. So just going to give you a quick demo. What we did is we're using these glasses. These are M300s, and a lot of people have seen these. You could be using Google Glass. The reason why we're on this form factor is that in field service and manufacturing, they don't necessarily want to be immersed in their jobs. In fact, there's a safety issue for some of them. And I love HoloLens, I love the immersive experience, but for these guys, a lightweight form factor with assisted reality right now is kind of where it's at. And I can get into more of those issues if someone wants to talk about why we think that's true. So let me see if I can start this. I'm just going to pause this for a second. So this is our system. We've got a content management capability. And what we're doing here is this is using these M300 glasses. And so we're using Team Viewer to actually give you a view of what the user is seeing. So this is the view of what the user is seeing. And I'm going to let this play through. And we're just going to do a couple of simple examples of what's going on here. So let me, I'll talk you through this. So here I'm just calling up the propeller repair job on a DJI drone. So what I can do is a scan, QR code comes up. This could be on my phone, it could be on a mobile device. I can scan this QR code, so I look at the QR code, and the content is delivered directly down to my glasses. So I now have step-by-step instructions on doing this particular task. So this is a way of us getting the content to the user without them using their hands. They could have their phone, they could just look at a QR code, they could actually do a search. Now, we did this project for a major construction company, and what they want to do is have their superintendents be able to walk into a space, and I want to get all the specifications on this ball valve. And we did a search, and the search results came back in the form of a QR code, and we deliver all that search results right to the glasses. So now I can navigate the search that I just did, and they're looking at the engineering diagram for a ball valve, and they're zooming in more, and then they wanted to link that to a 3D image. So we're able to do these kinds of linkages as well, and being able to do this kind of zooming. So what our goal is to make this accessible to all organizations in a low-cost way. So the next example you're going to see is I'm actually building content, and I can actually give you a demo list later. We can build content and have it immediately available. So within seconds after you build content, and we can take your existing content, we can then deliver that right to the glasses in a low-cost manner. Anyone could do this. I could train you to do this literally in 10 minutes, and you would have an AR module built for your specific task or your specific solution. So here we're doing an RC helicopter. We're showing you installing the main gear into the main frame, and once again, we can provide audio, video instructions. and enhance this even further with 3D content. And so here, we're just showing you how you build a pitch slider. I happen to be a geek, so I like RC stuff. And so now I'm going to show a video of the finished product. So we'll add this video into the stream. And now we'll go back and we'll, once we get that added into our content management system, it's immediately available. You'll see the glasses come up and we'll scan that QR code and it's now ready to play back in our glasses. So we've got this step-by-step list of instructions, and then the last thing in this case is the finished helicopter, but it could be a video of saying, how do I do this? And it would be someone demonstrating how that all happens. And so here's the video. So as we think about this, and this is just the beginning, we think there's a lot of different directions this can go in, and we see a lot of capabilities that are going to happen with this kind of content, and with the ability to have a content management system that you can easily deliver to the field and have it be maintained by someone with not a lot of skill level. So here are different modes of use that we see that are going to be very important. Step-by-step instructions, checklists, instant access to specifications, engineering diagrams, electrical schematics, telepresence. We know now that telepresence is becoming table stakes. Almost anybody who's going to deliver a solution in field service or manufacturing has to have this, you see what I see. And I will say a shout out to the PTC guys. I think this ability to annotate with chalk, the virtual chalk, is a real win in terms of telepresence. Live connection to manufacturing systems. This ability to, we're working with another company that manufactures electrical components. And so today they're going to multiple systems on the floor to fabricate these. So they're doing electrical control panels. In another case, they're doing lighting fixtures. This ability to stream instructions to the floor where they're doing the fabrication. Show me the build list, show me the checklist, show me the shipping instructions. So that's another project that we've just started to have discussions about, and we think there's a lot of potential for that. So finally, we believe that this technology, it kind of is like, reminds me of what a football coach once said, is that your team in the football field is only as fast as your slowest runner. We believe that this has the capability, that this kind of capability in AR, assisted reality, which is a segment of augmented reality, has the ability to raise the skill level of all team members in field service and manufacturing. So we think there's the potential that we want to deliver in empowering these individuals. I'm going to be around on the floor today. If you want a demo of our solution, I can build some content. You can try it. We've got the M300s running. I'd love to connect with anybody about partnerships, to learn more about what you are all doing, and I thank you for your time.